Hello YouTube, we are back with another video, and in this video we are going over the week 4 results for the Deck Out Series 1 online tournament. So what is the Deck Out Series 1 online tournament? Well, this tournament is a online event held through PTCGL and LimitlessTCG.com. It is free to play. It is every Thursday at 7 p.m. EST. I will put a link in the description if you guys want to sign up for this week, as well as the Discord, so you can sign up and ask any questions in the Discord. So we're going to go over the meta share for this event. This is week 4. Lost Box is still in first place with 12 different decks. We have Lugia V-Star in second with 11. Mew VMAX in third place with 8. Arceus decks in fourth place with 5 decks, and then other with 16 decks. That includes anything that didn't have enough representation to be in the top 4. Before we get into the top 8 deck list, I want to tell you about Deck Out Gaming. They are an amazing online store that has everything you need Pokemon related. You can use my promo code YBMCards to save 5% off at checkout. That helps me, the channel here, it helps you save a little bit of money, as well as it helps fund these online events. So in first place we have a Lost Zone box Goodra. This is the exact same Goodra list as the 8th place from last week. This is actually a local player to me and Deck Out Gaming. So it's very nice to see someone locally actually get first in this event. Again, this list is very straightforward. You have the 2 Drapion from you, the 3/3 Goodra line, 4 Comfey, your 1 Lumineon V, you have your 1 Cremant, and 1 Radiant Greninja. Now this list does play 1 Marnie over 1 Roxanne, and this player did tell me his reasoning behind it. The reasoning behind this is, in sometimes the early game to mid game before your opponent does take those 3 prizes, you want to play a hand disruption supporter, or you want to play a draw supporter and you don't have Colress in hand. The 1 of Marnie is perfect because you don't have to wait for your opponent to take the 3 prizes as you do with Roxanne, so the Marnie is always a live card. Other than that, everything is very standard. I can see how this went 9-0. This deck, I do want to mention, did go 9-0 undefeated. And in second place, we have another Hisuian Goodra list. This list is actually very different than the other one. This plays no Lumineon V. It plays 1 Roxanne as well as 2 Melanie. So you're trying to capitalize on discarding a water early so you can Melanie it turn 2 and start smacking. This also does play 1 V-Guard energy to take 30 less damage from Vs. Other than that, again, looks pretty standard. Now in third place, we have this monstrosity of a bunch of 1-ofs. Massive deck list here. So many 1-ofs. And this is, I would call it a Palkia list or maybe an Inteleon list. You have your 4 Sobble, 3 Drizzile, 2 Shady Dealings Inteleon, and 1 Quick Shooting Inteleon. So that is going to be your draw engine and mostly your consistency engine through the game. You also have the 2 Drapion V for your Mew matchup, of course. You have the 2 Articuno, which is very good into a lot of matchups because if you can paralyze them and they can't move, you're going to get another free hit. You have the 1/1 Palkia line. That is just so you can use the V-Star and attack, as well as it's a decent attacker into decks that have a very wide board. You have the 1 of Ice Cube that is there for your Lost Box and Reggie matchup, considering you do play the Wash Energy. You have the 1 of Radiant Greninja, which is a pretty good attacker as well as pretty good draw. And you have the 1 of Manaphy to protect your bench from Amazing Rare Raikus and opposing Radiant Greninjas. In fourth place, we have a Eternatus VMAX Galarian Weezing deck. In my opinion, I don't think this deck is too bad in the meta field because you do have the high damage output of Eternatus VMAX, as well as you have the ability lock of Galarian Weezing, and most decks can't really deal with a double Weezing in play. This deck does look very consistent. You do have the 3 Temple of Sinnoh and 1 Big Parasol, trying to put both of those into play against an Amazing Rare Yveltal, so they can't just one-shot your Eternatus VMAX for 3 free prizes. Your supporter count is pretty good. You have 3 Judge, 3 Research, 2 Marnie, or not 2 Marnie, 2 Boss's Orders, 1 Marnie, and 1 Serena. Serena acting as a draw supporter as well as a 3rd boss. In 5th place, we have our first Lugia V-Star deck. This Lugia deck is pretty standard. You do have the 1 of Irida with the 2 Choice Belt as well as 2 Lost Vacuum. So you can use that Irida to search out one of those whenever you need it. Other than that, it's a Lugia. You've seen this list a billion times. And in 6th place, we have a Fusion build of Mew VMAX. This Mew VMAX is choosing to play 1 Deoxys from Fusion Strike because the attack Photon Boost is pretty good. For 3 colorless energy, it does 80 damage, plus 80 more if this has a Fusion Strike energy attached. Now, why is this pretty good? It's very good into Lost Box early game because you can knock out anything on their board with the Photon Boost, as well as they can't one-shot your Deoxys with a Cramorant. They have to get into a Mirage Gate attacker to deal with your one prizer, which isn't very optimal for the Lost Box deck. Other than that, you have your 4 Mew V, 2 Mew VMAX, which is a bit sketchy, but when you play the Deoxys is a pretty solid attacker. You have 3 Boss, 2 Alessa Sparkle, 1 Avery, 1 Marnie, and 1 Roxanne. You have a 4 stadium split between 2 Path of the Peak, 1 Lost City, and 1 Collapsed Stadium. Everything else is pretty generic except for the fact that they do play 3 Cramomatic and 3 Quick Ball, which is pretty weird. You usually see them as a 4 of because they're just very, very good cards. I actually don't know why they would play 3 of each when they could easily cut an Avery and probably one of the stadiums for the extra spot. In 7th place, we have a Blast from the Past. So this is an Arceus V-Star Inteleon deck. I haven't seen this deck in, who knows, a long time. You have the 4-3 Arceus line, the 4-3-2 Inteleon Shitty Dealings line, the Manaphy to protect your bench, and the Radiant Gardevoir, so you take 20 less damage. You have the Big Charm to add 30 HP to your Pokemon, and then you have the V-Guard energy to minus 30 from Vs. So you're trying to tank damage from Pokemon V, and then use something like Sharon's Care to pick up your Arceus and put it back down and power it up again, so your opponent can't ever actually take a prize. You also have the 1-up Big Parasol to protect yourself from Star Requiem, as well as Sableye Lost Mine attack. And in 8th place, it wouldn't be a top 8 without 1 Regigigas list sneaking in the top 8. Now, I do really like this list a lot. You do have the 3 Regigigas, the 2-1 Good Reggie, Bad Reggie, Lecky line, and then 2 of every other Reggie. But the supporter count is what I really like. You have the 4 Research, 3 Marnie, and 2 Serena. Other than that, you play pretty generic counts of all your other items and stadiums, as well as you do have the 4 Path of the Peak to slow down any rule box Pokemon, because you don't actually play any rule box yourself, so this Path of the Peak will never come back to bite you or hurt your gameplay in any way. So that is going to be it for this week. I really enjoyed this week. I did play in this tournament. I think I went 3-3. Pretty average. It was okay. Sometimes Mew wins and sometimes Mew loses. That's going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in next week's video.